And next up, we have Fan Yang, the agency partner manager of Facebook, and he'll be sharing with us about Make Your Ringgit Count, leveraging Facebook to grow your business. So that is the title. And hi, Fan Yang.
Hi, nice meeting you, Thivia.
Hi, nice meeting you. Thank you so much for joining us in Marketing Fest,
No
Marketing in the
problem.
New Normal. And how are you?
Very good. How are you guys adapting to the new norm as we all
Yes,
do?
yes,
Yeah.
adapting to the new norm. And that's why we are here discussing about marketing in the new norm. And thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on board
So,
in the workshop. And to begin with, you can, we can see your slides. I think we can take it away. And the last 15 minutes is for Q&A, and I'll just prompt you when there's any questions
sure,
for the
no
last 15
problem. Thank
minutes.
you. Okay, will
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Bye.
Great. Hi, everyone. So my name is Fan, and I'm the agency partner manager from Facebook for Southeast Asia, based in Singapore. And I have been working at Facebook in the past 2 years, helping SMB clients specifically to use Facebook platforms and also use Facebook ads in order to grow their business. So right now it's particularly a very special period where majority of the SMB are heavily impacted. So just want to send a quick words and to make you realize that you are not alone in this journey. We're with you. Facebook has multiple initiatives, global initiatives as well for SMB. So please stay tuned to the COVID resources page on your Facebook page and also on Instagram to check the latest information and latest initiative from Facebook as well. But we're definitely with you and help, we'll do our best to try to help you survive this period. So that is also why the topic of my discussion today is make your ringgit count. This is a moment that we want every single ringgit of our investment to actually give us some returns. We wanted to maintain our existing customers to stay with us, if not now, but then after the MCO. So I think the importance of today's discussion is not only on how to leverage Facebook ads, but in general, how to maintain your business growth and also revenues as much as possible. So therefore, the intention of today's presentation. So without further ado, we're going to talk about 3 parts in today's presentation. So the first part is we want to provide you some visibilities and the data and the shift of the consumers' behaviors that we have seen on the Facebook side, both in Malaysia and also globally. And I believe many other guests has already shared their perspective as well during this marketing fest. And then hopefully ours will be helpful as well. The second is how to leverage Facebook ads for business growth. But then before that, I more wanted to talk about how to use just Facebook platforms, our organic business products actually to maintain the customer interactions and for business revenues as well. And then the third part is just call to actions. So if you don't know where to start after you have heard all of this, and I will briefly talk about the call to action part on the very final presentation. So to start with, and just to give you a little bit visibility on the data and consumer behavior that we have seen in Malaysia, and this could be consistent with some of the points that mentioned by the rest of the guests as well. In Malaysia specifically, we see 60% of the consumers think COVID is going to be around for few quarters. So we know that, change of the behavior and shifting to the new norm. And for business, it means digitalization of your service and then put your business lending virtually, not only offline, but also online is something that we need to do now. And just because the impact is not going to go away, it's possibly going to last around quarters. And it's not just in Malaysia, but also around the globe and in APAC. So therefore, the necessities of moving your business online as well. In Malaysia specifically, 67% of the consumers that we have interviewed said they believe the COVID will last for longer, 3 to 6 months. And then other 60% think lockdown will continue as well. And specifically for the festivals that most important for Malaysian market, Hari Raya, 81% of the interviewed audience mentioned that they wanted to celebrate with families at home. And then particularly messaging and social media will be their top activities. And for Malaysia, messaging is particularly important. As you can see here, 83% of the interview consumers say this is going to be their major activities. And just because digital connection is a new norm, and then the message is one of the few way and most efficient way for us to stay connected with our loved ones, no matter in groups or one-on-one. So the implication to us is how to leverage these platforms, Facebook family of apps, including WhatsApp and also Instagram Direct, so the Instagram inbox, and also messengers. So these are all the marketing channels that we should be looking at, because this will be consumers' behavior, and particularly in important festivals such as Hari Raya. The next thing we saw is essential purchase will still be first choice, of course. Clothing be the last during the Ramadan and Raya celebrations. And just because of consumer behavior, right? So we do not go out as much as previously. So therefore, fashion will be one of the things on the back of our head. And what we also see is in terms of the shopping channels. So not only offline is still growing, but also specifically on groceries, we see online growth as well. So grocery shoppings continue to grow week on week, but specifically even in online, we saw 53% of the 53% of the consumers interviewed will shop online, and then on the week on week is still growing by 6%. So online channel virtualization and digitalization of your business lending is very important. And then before we talk about how to use ads to drive new consumers to do prospecting campaign, the most important is with your existing loyal customers, how to make sure that they can still shop as Euro. And then how to use messengers, WhatsApp, those message channels, which are a majority of the Malaysian consumers will keep on using, particularly during the festivals, to interact with your consumers. So that will be the top of the mind and the top challenges that each one of the business will need to think about. Other than home delivery, we also saw that in Malaysia specifically, people begin to prefer drive-through as well. So with a minimum contact. And this is the trends that we not only see in Malaysia, but we also see globally across Southeast Asia countries. So in this chart, you can see the dark yellow part is do less, and then the lighter yellow part is do more. So stay the same or do more. So as a recap, what we can see actually from this slide is across APAC countries, people begin to shopping much more in the e-commerce website and begin to shop much less as well at the physical outlets. So needless to say more, it's just the most obvious consumer behavior shifting. And then in terms of the categories, majority of us will always look at the groceries for sure, but then under the groceries, so FMCG in general, there's also multiple sub-verticals as well. So food and beverage for sure, but what is also growing is any other sub-verticals under it, so such as household care. So the cleaners, for example, that you use for the house, and then also for the restroom, for the floor. And also we see personal care is also growing. So these are all the verticals that we should keep a close eye on. And then lots of consumers and advertisers, business owners will ask us the question that, I know that this is all growing, but should we do ads anymore? So does consumer, or should the brand actually keep communicating anymore? So do consumers actually still want to hear from the brand, interact with the brand? Maybe they just want to stay within the families. And then throughout the research, what we have seen is consumers still wanted to hear from brand as long as brand actually deliver relevant value. So it's more important than ever that when people adapting to the new norm, have new behaviors, and then their attention also shift. The most important topic is quarantine and stay at home. The most important topic is, like when COVID can pass over, then your communication of the brand should be relevant to that as well. So 70% of the interviewed consumers agree that I want to continue to hear from the brands and companies on what they have to offer and what they stand for. The value of your company on how to help consumers to survive this period while staying at home is more important than ever. So yes, they still wanted to hear from the brand, and they actually wanted to continue to hear from, especially the brand they deeply engaged previously. Not only the new brands, but especially they wanted to hear what the brands actually has to offer related to the stay at home and what the brands really stand for, the values that just behind the products that you are providing. What we need to pay attention, and which we will deep dive in the following session, is in your communication. What does that mean? So as a business owners, you may want to ask, right? Yeah, like as a consumers, I also understand the relevancy, but what does that mean? What should I do exactly? So the tips and strategies to help your business to have more controls and also to deal with the impact and increase the relevancy is by creating creatives and piece of communication material from three folds. So the first one is assurance. So how to build positive sentiment and confidence with consumers through your communication, through your creative, no matter it's through Facebook ads or through the messengers. How to provide more assistance, so provide timely support and also alternatives for consumers. So if, for example, if you're offline business providing a service before, and you cannot, give beauty therapy to your clients anymore, but if your clients have any questions during this specifically period and stay at home and want assistance, how can they reach out to you through messengers? How can they reach out to you through WhatsApp and Instagram direct inbox? So all these are the efforts that the brand should put on and definitely has to set in place because everybody is actually doing it. And then the third part is actions. So how to bring an experience to consumers on the platforms. So specifically, where is your virtual landing? So we can provide assurance, we can provide assistance, but we're definitely with you. We're a small business. At the end of the day, we need to have revenues in order to survive and then to cover the cost. So how to bring your business landing, your service, and also your products online. So, like you can still deliver because logistics and warehouse might still be the essential services, and to make sure that you have the cash flow and revenues as normal. So action, virtualization and digitalization of your products and service is super important. So these are the three parts that we will talk about in the following sessions as well. So coming into, so after the first part that we have discussed about consumer behavior, definitely super shift to online. And then there are certain channels such as messages that we have to pay attention, particularly during Hari Raya period in Malaysia. People still shopping, and particularly in groceries across the sub-verticals. And then as a business, we need to think about how to bring our business online. So after all this consumer behavior shifting and what business needs to do, and then we come into the second part. So how Facebook can help with our platforms and also including ads for the business growth. What should we do? So specifically begin to even talking about for the investment into the ads, we should firstly think about how to make fully use of all the already business platforms. So already building organic tools to engage with your consumers. So of course, you should continue to use feed. You should continue to create content, organic posts that is relevant to COVID and stay from home and MCO. But also what is also important is to use the live. So people are craving for live interactions, real-time experiences. And then globally, we have seen 3 out of 4 users are actually interested in live streams of the event actually are canceled or postponed. So particularly if you are offline business and if you're from entertainment and media, for example, and then you may want to think about how to do a live in order to bring the offline experience actually online. And what we also see is, and it's based on our data, that we have seen Facebook Live viewers in US has increased to 50%, by 50% in a month. So huge explosion. And live is simply a product that we see across the countries that has been growing very, very fast because it's one of the few tools which can give you real life interaction experiences, which ads and other organic posts cannot provide you. And what is also interesting for live is, so if you have used the live on your own, such as when you are watching Exabyte marketing event right now, you will notice that, as a brand, sometimes when you post an organic post, it's not necessarily visible to all of your followers. But when you launch a live, so whoever your followers are actually online at the same time, so they will be able to see you are actually on live. So no matter on Facebook and actually on Instagram, the live event will have a higher visibilities to your followers who are actually online at that particular moment. So higher visibilities for the brand as well. We do see, such as, like e-commerce SMBs as well, they begin to use live to do live shopping. So what they basically do is they launch a Facebook Live, and then all of their followers are actually online, and they will introduce their pieces. For example, if I'm selling female fashion, I will ask the model to put on the female top and then the dresses one after another. I will let you see actually what exactly look like when a model put on in real time. And if users have any questions, so as you see here on the right, the screen part, the screenshot, if any users have any time, they can ask a real live real time, and then you can actually respond right away. So in terms of user engagement, it's definitely much better than just the ad as well, because everything happening in real time. And for users, it's just they are given a chance to actually see your products in real, so which is super, super valuable. So not only for e-commerce, that's just one example, not only for entertainment and media, for any of the brands that you should think about. If you are one of the business provide offline experiences, how can you migrate it to online through live real-time experience? And this is something that every brand is doing, and all the bloggers and celebrities are doing. And then coming back to the first part, when we talk about, it's possibly going to stay for a while. Even MCO has lifted, but people may not going outside and as active as they were before. It's going to last for several quarters. So as SMBs, you need to adapt to the new norm and then start trying these products if you still haven't done so. And another platform, so we all know that Facebook has a family of apps. So we don't only have Facebook, we also have Instagram, and we also have WhatsApp messengers as well. So for Instagram, for example, you can do live as well. And the way to do it is, so everybody knows we have the Instagram stories on the very top above the organic post. So you can click into the stories to create a story and scroll up to the very left, and then you can see live options. And before you go live, actually, the tool will also remind you how many of your users are currently online. So how much viewership you possibly going to have when you live right now compared to you live later on. So as a brand, you can also check what is the best timing according to where your followers are, what are they used to watch the social content, to decide when to put on your live. So for Instagram specifically, you can do Instagram Live, but not only so. So you can also do Instagram Shopping, and you can also do Instagram TV, IGTV. So all of these ways are to interact with your consumers and bring the experiences. Yeah. So if you haven't tried all these organic tools, I highly recommend you guys to have a test and then see how it works. And then before you bring on your business accounts, you may want to try on your personal account just with your friends and just to get used to the tools as well. If you have any questions, that's exactly why agency is here to handhold you. So please feel free to contact our sales team or contact the Exabyte through their Facebook pages. So the agency will be there to help you and give you suggestions. So when we talk about, after we talk about how to use organic tools, so how to use ads. So if you are a business who does not have a large user base before, you need to actually get it out there with your ads content and let everybody be aware what you are selling. Then, how do you do with the ads? So for those who are not very familiar with Facebook family of the apps, or why Facebook ads is different from the rest of the media's ads, in a word, it comes into three folds. So the first one is Facebook does ads to deliver business outcomes. So you shouldn't only do ads to push on the post engagement, because post engagement is not a business outcomes. As SMBs, what you actually measure and what actually matter to you particularly right now is conversions. You want people to purchase either on your website or somewhere. You want revenues coming in. Or you want, as a real estate business, you want people to leave contact information, right? You need leads for education, same as well. You need leads. You need people to sign into your webinars. You want people to purchase your education content. So all of this are business outcomes. Facebook is a platform to deliver business outcomes. We're not the platforms to just do post engagement. And we actually do not suggest SMB to do post engagement. And just because at this particular moment, you need every single ringgit investment count, actually. So please bear in mind, when you do Facebook ads, you want to be crystal clear about business outcomes. What do you want Facebook ads to do in order to deliver the business revenues? And then the second is measure the incremental lift and attribution. What that means is whether Facebook is useful or not, we have a series of measurement as products. So by setting up a test, you can actually know whether Facebook or adoption of certain Facebook new products will help you to lift the desired business outcome. So no matter it's purchase, no matter you want to decrease your cost per results, cost per leads you're actually getting from Facebook, or you wanted to increase, the value of the purchase, you wanted to increase your return on the ad spend, all of these business outcomes can be measured. So I will not go into the details, but if you have any questions, please feel free again to reach out to Exabyte teams and also through their Facebook pages. The third part is the advantage of using Facebook is we measure by users. So as a Facebook user yourself, possibly, so every one of us actually log in using an account. So no matter you are on your PC, on your desktop, or if you are on your template, or if you are on your mobile phone, or if you move from Facebook into Instagram or move into WhatsApp and messengers, we always know it's you. So all the result that Facebook delivered, all the tracking they will do, it's measure across devices and measure on you as a person. So we avoid a kind of marketing dollar redundancies because for those media who are actually tracking by cookies, every time when you re-log in with a new devices, it's qualified as a different cookie, but eventually it's the same user that you acquired. But it's not going to happen with Facebook because we're people-based marketing. So we track users across devices, and we are able to track no matter on desktop or on mobile and cross the channels. And just because it's the same family of apps, for example, between Facebook and also Instagram. So that's the three parts of what Facebook does to you. So coming back again, it's you wanted to use Facebook particularly right now to drive business outcomes. You are able to measure or what are the incrementalities using or without using Facebook ads can bring it to you. And then Facebook can target the users actually across devices and across channels within the family of apps. So coming back to the next part, and this is also for those advertisers who may not be familiar with Facebook solutions. So yeah, so great. I understand the Facebook unique selling point. I understand what Facebook can help me, but how should I start? I never done digital marketing before. Like which angle should I start to think about it? Full funnels. So this is a marketeer language, but then put it into the consumer language is, no matter it's traditional sell or digital sell, the customers you approach, they're not necessarily wanting to buy things for the very first times. Lots of consumers, when they don't know you, you always have to start from the awareness stage or demand generations. So you need to make consumers interested in your service before they actually have a transaction going through you. So this is what we call full funnels. For some of the verticals, you may be able to drive transactions in the very beginning. So for example, if an SMB selling jewelries, and then my jewelry is extremely of the high quality, very design driven, extremely beautiful with a very competitive pricing. And maybe you can drive a transaction in the very beginning. But the majority of the brand has to go through these funnels as well. What we also want to say is So no matter you wanted to drive awareness or you wanted to drive demands as a real estate, so for certain verticals, you may not go through the whole channels. So there might not be a transaction that somebody bought something, but then typically for education or for real estates, you may just stop as generating demands. So you want people to leave contact information and then you follow up by your sales team. And so what we want to say here is no matter which vertical you come from, no matter which consumer journey, which part of the full funnel of the consumer journey that you wanted to address, Facebook has a comprehensive different ads formats in order to help you to make that happen. So for example, if you are e-commerce, you wanted to sell a shoe, there is an ad format to be able to demonstrate all of your shoe catalog, and then people will be able to click. And if you have an e-commerce website, and then people can directly just purchase on your website. So, and then another example would be if I am education or if I am a real estate SMBs, and then I wanted to drive the leads. So there's another ad format where we can demonstrate in video or in static image of what you're providing as an institute, right? Why they should talk to you instead of other institute. And then by clicking on this ads, there will be a lead generation form actually popped up in the platforms, on Facebook platforms itself, within Facebook. So users don't have to log out and they can directly just complete their user information and directly, your sales teams can follow up. So no matter which verticals you come from, no matter, again, which funnel, part of the funnels that you wanted to drive, which business objective you want to drive, Facebook has different format and very comprehensive and diverse ad formats in order to help you to address your business needs. So these are the examples. So you see each one of the format is very different. So I will not go into further details. So if we come, we already finished all the parts about the fundamental theories, right? Business result. And then if you want coming up to the third part, how should we start? How does Facebook ads creation flow actually look like? So this is how it looks like. Creating an ads on Facebook, you always start with a business objective. So try to understand Facebook as we frequently say, a genius 5-year-old kids. So it's a genius. So we will be able to deliver what you ask us for. And just because we have all the hashed hidden user signals, as we call, so we know which user have interacted with certain content. So therefore, we will be identify which users are more likely to convert, and all of them are hashed data. So user confidentiality is definitely protected. The brand will not have any access of detailed user data. But then you will still be able to target objectives and target the type of the users, but you just will not see the detailed personal information and to protect the user's confidentiality. But then to start with, to understand Facebook as a junior 5-year-old, you have to tell this 5-year-old kids what you want them to do, and then they will just go for it, and they will definitely deliver. But they need to understand what you want them to do, and they can only understand one thing each time. So that's why we need to set a crystal clear one objective for every single campaign. So the way to set objective is you go into the ads manager. If you don't know what I'm talking about, talk to Exabyte sales team after this session. So you go into your ads manager, and altogether you have, as we call, funnel. So you want to do awareness, you want everybody to know your brand, or you want to do considerations, you want everybody to consider your products, or do you want to do conversions? You want people to convert to buy right away. You want to generate the sales. So you have to be clear about what you want as a business objectives, and then under each, you can choose specifically, for example, so on the consideration, do you want to drive them to your website, which is traffic, or do you want them to engage with your post? And do you want them to install an app? Or do you want them to view the videos or leave the contact information or send you a message? So all of this is not necessarily, as we see, generate an exact final revenues. So therefore, it's not under the conversions, but by actually leaving the contact information or send you a message. So of course, they're considered your service. That's why they show the intent and show the interest by sending you a message or going to a website to check it out. So every single time when either you work on the Facebook ads yourself or you collaborate with exabyte teams, you need to be crystal clear about what you want, and you can only choose one thing per campaign. So objective. After you choosing the objective, you need to decide how to do the audience targeting. So Facebook can do 3 types of the targeting. The first one, what we call is core audience. So this is what everybody knows, interest targeting, basically. So you can choose who you wanted to target the audience actually with certain interest. But then, however, what Facebook is really powerful for is the letter 2. So these are the targeting based on the machine learning. So we don't deliver to the people who might be interested or have certain interest, but then we deliver to people who will generate result for you. So specifically, customer audience, meaning old customers. You can understand them as people who has already interacted with your business. So either they are your followers, or they have liked your post before, or they go to your website before. Or if you are SMB offline service, they actually went to your store before. All of this audience can be generated as customer audience. So on the technical side, I will not go into the details again. Ask the exabyte team if you need assistance. But in general, this is to interact with your old customer who has already engaged with you. And then either you want them to repurchase, so they or your old customers, you want them to cross buy, and then you want to upsell to buy another new version of the service. Or they are the ones who show interest. So coming back to the previous objective, right? They have went to your website, but they have never purchased. And right now you want to push for a lower funnel conversions. So for this, you need to use customer audiences. So it's based on the machine learning. And we know that who has interacted with you before. And all the data is hashed. So you will not be able to see exactly personal information per audience. And then the third part is lookalike audience. So lookalike audience is something that based on the customer audience, and you can understand as new customers. So basically, by creating a lookalike audience, you ask the machine to, based on your existing customer audience, to find someone who's very similar. So that's what lookalike audience does. Core audience is to find a new customer. Lookalike audience is to find new customer as well. The difference has been one is defined by interest. The other one is defined by your past historicals based on machine learning. So who has really interacted with you instead of have certain interest. So these are the audience targeting, and you need to choose which audience targeting you want to use. And then once you have the objective and what you want to do, audience, who you want to deliver, and then later on it will be placement. So where you want your ads to deliver to. So I will not go into the details, but then all the family of apps, so Facebook, Instagram, messages, you will be able to deliver your ads on. Best practice is we always suggest the advertisers to choose automatic placement, because at the end of the day, the objective you wanted to drive is business objective, right? You just want that person to buy. You don't care whether they actually show up on Facebook or they saw the ads actually on the right or upper corner or in the feed itself, to click to buy. As soon as you buy, you don't care about the placement. And what we actually want is to have as many placement as possible. So automatic placement is let machine to deliver wherever possible. And then, but if you wanted to at least choose more than 4 placement, and the reason for that is it will increase your chance of having your ads to be delivered to the audience that you have selected. So I will quickly touch on this, but this is not the intention of this session. So Facebook work on the auction basis. So as the name suggests, so you need to bid on the price, have the budget, and then the machine will decide at the real time which ads is most competitive and also give the best experience to our users and decide where to deliver your ads. So you kind of need to decide your bidding strategies. Normally, what we suggest in order to have more conversions is also here. It's always here. So we will suggest the advertisers to always bid in the method called lowest cost. So as soon as machine can help you to win this bid and then show your ads to the consumers, to the audience that you have chosen, it doesn't matter as soon as it's the lowest cost. So this is in order to generate more result. And then if you want more control, you say, like I absolutely need to win the bid at certain cost. Otherwise, my ads spending will be too high and then I cannot break even. and then in which you can use other different bidding methodologies, which is target cost. So you give machine, you absolutely needs to bid at that target, or you can use the lowest cost with a bid cap. So you say you can bid with the lowest cost, but the maximum of the maximum, you should not surpass this cap. And then, so the more control you have, so the more restraints you actually put into the machine, particularly for SMB clients, and particularly of the less known brand, and particularly when you have a low budget, it's actually going to decrease your chance of having your ads to deliver. So we always suggest you need to have more conversions and business result, always use the lowest cost to start with. And then once you have set a bid, right, how can machine actually decide whether to deliver your ads or not? So we're talking about deliveries. And this will be a totally separate session. There's lots of information behind. But in a word, what it actually mean is, we are using a formula in order to, machines using a formula in order to decide your ads value. What is the value of your ads? And according to that value, we will decide whether we deliver or not. And that value is, first of all, your bid. So bid including the way you bid. So we say like lowest cost, for example, and also how much you bid actually. So if your cost is very low and then your ads is not very nice, so the machine may just say your total ads value is just too low. You don't want to spend a lot of money. Your audience is really targeted, is really segmented and too small. And your ads is not very good either. So your ads value is overall very low. So we will not deliver your ads. So bid is very important. And the second is estimated action rate. What that essentially means is by delivering your ads, machine will estimate how likely actually the user will have the actions that you want them to have. So is that based on, so if your objective is based on the purchase, how likely by delivering your ads, that user will likely to purchase. So it's not only decide on the users because we have the historicals of what this user has engaged with the brand before, but it's more depending on the brands as well. So, like, is your business, service, products really competitive? Is it really valuable for the audiences that you have to set? And then is your ads good enough in order to give a great experiences or not? So all of this is estimated action rate. And then the final part is user value. So by showing these ads, are we going to bring a better user experiences or worse user experiences? So this is the total values, and then how machine decide whether to deliver your ads or not. So, and then we come to the very final part. So we know that on the first part, in Malaysia, we're going to be in this trend for a while. And even after the MCO lifted, people are likely to not going to the offline channels and still continue the existing behaviors of shopping online. So therefore, as a business, you need to think about digitalization of your business, bring your business online. And the second, we also know we can use Facebook organic business products in order to boost the business growth for this particular period and connect with your users. So such as using Facebook Live, Instagram Live, messages. But also if you wanted to drive for the business growth, you can use Facebook ads in order to proactively launch your brand and put it out there. So we also talk about how ads works. If you have any operational detail questions, feel free to ask the agencies to help you on board as well. So how to start? That brings us to the third question. To start doing Facebook ads, you need to have a great creative. So like any salesperson, traditionally we're doing sales offline when you have the salespeople knocking at the doors and asking whether they wanted to buy or not. Right now with the digitals, we ask our creatives. So it's that image, that video you put online to knock at the door for you, but it's exactly the same thing. So we want the creative to absolutely be appealing in order to make sure that the consumer actually wanted to open the door for you and then listen to what you have to say and possibly convert after listening to your narratives. So creative is so important. It is your face of your sell person, basically. So make sure that you have very compelling creatives ready and make sure that you understand how Facebook actually deliver your ads and value your ads value, as we talked about previously. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're uncertain, go to the agencies. And then for the second part is ads. So, and then once you have the creative ready, you can just create the ads. And there's two ways of quickly ramping up. So if you are a small business, I highly suggest you just try on your own. So everybody has the access of, you go to your profile, personal profile, and then here you can say create ads or manage ads, and then you can create an ad account, and you have the access to the ads manager, a single one-stop interface where you create the ads and launch the ads and observe all the reportings and result. But then if you feel like you wanted to learn from and you need a lot of hand-holding from another consultant, so feel free to actually reach out to the agencies on the messenger, and also through this email address as well, to let them handhold you, maybe ramp you up very, very quickly. So beyond the ads part, so what are the creatives you actually need to prepare? So what does that mean exactly to have a higher relevancy? So I'm going to finish in the remaining 2 minutes. I'm aware that we actually already over time, so I will leave time for some questions. In general, you need to keep in mind below when you create ads right now, your ads should focus on the benefits of your products or business. It should be authentic, transparent. It should demonstrate to your customers that you are there for them. And it should have some empowering stories. So again, coming back to the first session, it should show values. You are helping the communities. You need to adapt to what is happening right now. You cannot run an ad totally just has nothing to do with what is happening right now. In which sense the users may think, the brand is not sensitive to what is going on and have a negative sentiment. And then do not run ads for certain categories. Do not make use of this COVID opportunities, so such as mask, hand sanitizer, surface wipes, sanitization products. So all of this cannot be run with ads. So don't run those. Do not promote anything that guarantee prevention of the virus. So anything that has to do to prevent the virus, or the items who actually medical items associated with the COVID, you cannot run ads on it. Avoid creating a sense of urgency related to the virus. So you cannot, monetize on people's fear. So we will stop your ads as well, and avoid content that explores the crisis and social issues for commercial service purposes. So in the word is what we have talked about. You cannot run ads and then make use of scarcity of the mask and just say, like, I'm the one who can produce more mask for you. Your ads will be disabled right away. So specifically providing more assurance, assistance, and also actions. And there are some examples which I will send maybe later on, but in general, just try in your ads creation part, make sure that you step up on the food safety, bring the assurance. And then also make sure that you can refer to these tips right now. So say, act, and sell. So make sure that you say the safety tips physically and emotionally, be there for your consumers. You show compassion and appreciation. And then try to bring a little bit entertainment, a little bit fun into what you are currently doing. And also act. So if ever you can do a donation and drives a purpose, please feel free to do so. So you need to repurpose actually your existing creatives and to make it relevant. So even when you sell e-commerce, you maybe wanted to you maybe wanted to mention about the contactless delivery. So to ensure people. And also be a little bit more flexible in the way that you provide CRM services, and for sales side as well. So it's consistent with what we have mentioned. So that is all my side. And to finish off, I just want all the Malaysian SMB business to realize that rest assured, you're not alone in this journey. We're all in this together. We have been working with SMB agencies and SMB advertisers across the Southeast Asia countries and globally. We know that what you're currently been through. So if you need any support, feel free to reach out through Facebook support channels, which are Facebook for Business. So go into that platforms, and then you can find the ways to contact the Facebook sales for support. And also feel free to lean on our agencies who are the experts and Facebook products experts to help you as well. So you're not alone in this journey, and we're there for you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Fan, for your input into this topic. I think there's a lot of questions. I think I don't want to talk a lot. Let's go back to the questions and just see how we can quickly answer those questions. How do you address the privacy concern in FB, given that many users actually choose to switch off the tracking activities option? How would this FB ad be an advantage to attract the target audience as compared to the digital marketing platforms?
Yeah, so I think there's an echo.
Come again?
The audio sounds very weird. There's an echo, but no worries. So user confidentiality and user data protection is everything. Our user is everything for our platforms. So therefore, we absolutely wanted to put the control of their own data in the hands of the users. And that is first and foremost. Without the users' affinities, without user wanting to use the platforms, it won't be beneficial not only to Facebook, but also for business. So that is why we launched a series of privacy control, if you are aware, last year and also this year, because this is definitely the priority of the priorities, that user will be able to switch off the ads if they feel certain ads are not what they want. If they feel, for example, the ads are too frequent and it's interfere with the user experiences with the platforms. So this is crucial. So we definitely will continue to give efforts on it. And very recently, user will be able to see if they are excluded of certain ads as well. So give full controls. But at the same time, we also, coming back to your question, we're also very conscious about the Facebook is also ads platforms, and business are equally important, and advertiser experiences is super important for us as well. So we want to make sure that you have visibilities on that whenever that happens. And we want to make sure that every time when we launch a user privacy protection policies like this, you're the first one to know. So the business is always aware of what is going on. So I think at the end of the day, the question to the targeting, it leads to a bigger question. So as an advertiser, what do you want out of ultimately by doing ads on Facebook and using marketing at all across any channels? So I think the question is about your business objectives. So as soon as you can still be able to use Facebook platforms and to provide a very valuable service and products, and which help with the user experiences under the user controls and still give you business outcomes. And I think, and also as an advertiser, you're always aware that what kind of limitation has been put. And even as an advertiser yourself, you can put brand control as well, particularly when you do reach and frequency campaigns, and also to control your confidentiality and your ads experiences. And Facebook is able to deliver your business outcomes. And I think it's a win-win situation for everyone. And we absolutely stand with the brands as well to improve the advertiser experiences equally.
Okay. And the second question is, how do we evaluate the effectiveness of Facebook ads?
So great question, and it's coming back into the first question. So always remember that Facebook ads is a genius 5 years old. So it's genius, it will deliver, but that depends what you ask them to do, and they will just go for one directions. So depending on the campaign objective, which is your business objectives, right? If you want conversions, if you want people to buy right away, so first of all, you need a landing, so e-commerce website in order to sell. So if you have that landing, if that landing's experiences is very good, people can on the mobile phone book very fast, and they're not going to be locked out, and your loading is fast. And then based on that purchase business objectives, then using Facebook ads, the KPI you may want to look into is cost per actions. For example, how much does it cost you to acquire this purchase? And then you may also want to look into ROAS, so return on the ad spend. So by acquiring these consumers, although maybe the CPA, the cost per action, is very high, but then if this user actually bought so many products, so the value bring you is very, very high. So you may want to look for similar audience. So the lookalike audience similar to what this audience is using Facebook ads creation, audience creation tools. And then on the contrary, so if you are another business who just wanted to do intention, so remember what we have talked about under the consideration, and then you want people to send you messages or leave the leads. And then essentially what you are deciding on, again, is a cost, right? Marketing, advertising is a cost platforms. What are the cost per results, CPR? And then after that, so what have that leads converted or not? So we were talking about, so if you have third-party bots, automation that connected through API with Facebook ads, you will be able to evaluate whether it's converted or not. or as an advertiser yourself, you have your sales team. So sales team can feedback that which leads has converted or not. So you can evaluate on the quality of the leads as well. But then CPR to start with is something that you can actually see on the platform. How much does it cost for a user to send you a message every single time? So coming back again, it's depending on what is your business objective.
Okay, thank you so much. I think there's a lot of questions, but would you like to give your contact details so that if all the questions that's being not answered, they can contact you directly, and as well as also Exabat team will be around to actually help them reply as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, we can get your contact details or email or anything. Maybe we can put it under the comment section that they can email you directly.
Yeah, that would be great. And I think the Exabyte team is definitely the expert in the Malaysian market. And you guys are the ones who help the advertisers to create ad and also do troubleshooting. So to be very honest, if you want Malaysia-related insight and executions, feel free to lean on to the team as much as possible. And I'm in very close contact with the team. So when they have any other questions, they cannot provide you the answers. They will reach out to me at any time. So rest assured that you are always supported, and your answer will be, your questions will be answered one way or another. So we are there for you and with you.
Okay, then apart from that, thank you so much, Pen, for joining us in Marketing in the New Normal Marketing Fairs and sharing a lot of interesting facts about Facebook and how businesses can use Facebook to leverage their business. And also, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.